For the penis, it's a sex organ because it's involved in the intercourse. It allows the sperms to come outside the body, and also it's part of it. We can consider it, since it contains the urethra that transport blood, that transport urine outside the body. We can consider it also part of the urinary system. The penis from inside is made out of chambers, 3 chambers, 2 big ones and a small one. The big ones, they are on the dorsal side of the penis. Those will call them the cobra cavernosa, the 2 of them, cobra cavernosa. Whereas the lower one, we call it the corpus spongiosum. This corpus spongiosum is the one that contains the spongy urethra. The spongy urethra is what connects to the prostatic urethra. It's the prostatic urethra, right? Then we have the spongy urethra that comes through the penis. Okay, so this spongy urethra is running through, it's running through the corpus spongiosum. Now the 3 bodies, the 3 cobra, they are erectile tissue. What does it mean? It means that they can get enlarged. And that is during sexual stimulation, because the end of the penis, the glands, those contains plenty of nerves, and and they are very sensitive. Okay, so once we have stimulation, those cobra cavernosa will get filled with the blood, so they will enlarge. The smooth muscles there will relax. Blood would rush into those bodies, and that is when men will have erection. So what's happening here is that we will have, for erection, we will have opening of the arterial blood. So the arteries, they will open, they will fill these bodies with the blood, and that is where the erection would happen. However, at the same time, the veins will close, so there is no blood to return. Okay, there is no blood to return, or less blood to return. That's how we will maintain the erection. Erection is happening under the parasympathetic response. Erection will happen under the parasympathetic response, and usually there are cells during the sexual activity or sexual stimulation. They will have those muscles to relax and allow the blood to come in. Then there is nitric oxide. This is kind of a neurotransmitter that will get released from the nerve endings, that will help in keeping them open and allowing the blood to come there. It will cause relaxation of the smooth muscles there. Okay, so that those arteries will always dilate, will always remain open, and therefore allowing more blood to come, and at the same time the veins will try to get constricted, so less blood would come back. When there is the ejaculation would happen because of a sympathetic spinal reflex. So erection is parasympathetic, ejaculation is sympathetic. Now, during ejaculation, that the sphincter muscles of the bladder will constrict, and therefore there is no urine flow. And by the way, even during erection, there is no flow, there is no urine flow, even during erection. Okay, but once we have this sympathetic reflex, there will be like the smooth muscles on the ambula and on the seminal gland will contract, and they will squeeze the ambula, they will squeeze the seminal vesicle, and that will cause the sperms to come out. And there will be usually very fast or very rapid contractions that will cause the semen to leave the seminal gland, the prostate, and the sperms to leave the ambula. For the production of testosterone, as we know, this is going, and we talked about it, this is going to happen in the testes. We said in the testes we have the seminiferous tubules. Those are the seminiferous tubules. Between them there are interstitial cells. Those are a group of cells that are located between the seminiferous tubules. Those cells are responsible for producing testosterone, and testosterone production is happening under the FSH and LH. Both are anterior pituitary hormones. Okay, and their release is happening also under the influence of the hypothalamus. But once we have the release of both FSH and LH specifically and directly will target those cells, interstitial cells, and will cause testosterone release. FSH, on the other hand, will target cells inside the seminiferous tubules. Remember, the interstitial cells are outside the seminiferous tubules, but the FSH will target a group of cells called serotoli cells. Those are inside the seminiferous tubules. Those cells will do 2 things. First one, releasing androgen binding protein, or the ABP, and this would enhance testosterone production. The ABP will enhance testosterone production. Whereas the other hormone is something called inhibin. Inhibin actually is going to go back to the pituitary gland and ask it to stop release FSH and LH. So inhibin, from its name, it's going to inhibit FSH and LH release. Why? To make testosterone under control. We don't want too high levels of testosterone. Too high levels of testosterone will damage the spermatogenetic cells. They will not be able to produce sperms. So we need to keep it under a certain level. Testosterone by itself, if it goes high, also it will inhibit the production of LH and FSH. So this is a critical feedback mechanism to stop high levels of testosterone. Testosterone also will influence the what we call the secondary sex characteristics, that appearance of hair, facial hair, axillary hair, pubic hair, bone growth, the skeletal muscle size increasing the basal metabolic rate. So all of those changes that you will see in boys once they are turning into adulthood during their adolescence, right? So testosterone is responsible for this growth sprout in kids. Okay, and some athletes will consume testosterone as supplement, to have to build muscles, and sometimes that will damage their ability to produce sperms, right? So, but anyway, for testosterone, big function is sperm production. Side functions is the skeletal muscle, bone growth, appearance of the males at adolescence. So all of those are effects of testosterone. So I'll stop here. In the following video, we'll start talking about the female reproductive system.